They say to me, "You have so good Chinese," and then he said to them, pointing at me, but when I talk to this guy in Chinese, he'd say, "What? So basically, they're just trying to praise you.
Well, yeah, and it can be very false. Like, if I've had so many times I say like, 你好, and they, wow, your Chinese is so good. Wow, your Chinese, wow, 你中文真的很好. And so it can be very fake, right? Or I say something in Chinese and they don't understand me, and then they say, oh, your Chinese is very good. Like, you just did not understand my Chinese and you are still saying my Chinese is very good. So I think the Canadian nationality is still a little more useful, but I've been in China for so long. Like, for me, China is my home. It's where I live, way more than Canada. I've been in China for 16 years. Like, Chinese people, they can never understand what this means. If I tell a Chinese person that I've been here for 16 years, 16年, they still act like I am a foreign person who has just arrived in China 1 week ago or like 1 month ago. They really do not. For a lot of Chinese people, it's very hard to understand that a foreigner has been in China for so long and is not like just a new person here and doesn't understand anything. I'm not a good presenter, not a teacher, just a businessman. Okay, so I don't know what to do with that. Okay, so for the theory, there's 3 areas that produce a lot of conflict for cross-cultural communication. And the first one is eliciting ideas. Okay, so like if you're at a meeting at your workplace and it's a Chinese company and they ask people like, do you have any suggestions for us, or what do you think is the best plan for our company going forward? Then an American person and a Chinese person will act very differently in this kind of meeting. And number 2 is conflict resolution. So let's say Cotter is my boss, and he's yelling at me, and we have a conflict. Then a Chinese person and a foreign person will handle this kind of conflict in very different ways. And number 3 is giving feedback. Okay, now I'm working at a Chinese company, so I relate everything to the work environment. But like giving feedback, so maybe Cotter, I want to give him some suggestions about how our company can do a better job. And I think a Chinese person and a foreign person have a lot of differences there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
你不是老外
well, that's okay. I can accept Lao Wai now. That's okay. But yeah, I've been in China for 16 years, and I have made a lot of mistakes communicating with Chinese people. Many mistakes. And I want to talk about four examples. So when I first came to Hangzhou, I went to Zhejiang University, and I was a master's student at Zhejiang University, studying politics. And I went to every class, and none of the other students really talked. But I talked so much, and I just keep talking. And I felt like I was a very smart person in this class. I felt, wow, I'm so smart. And nobody else is talking. And finally I realized that my classmates at Zhejiang University, are like the smartest Chinese people in China, the top students in China, and maybe I should talk less and listen to them more. And I was being very arrogant, and I feel very stupid about that time. I don't understand black people because I see so many Chinese videos talking about black people, and they never ask a black person. They never talk to a black person. They don't know any black people. And if I talked about China and I've never been to China and I don't know any Chinese people and I don't speak Chinese, nobody's gonna listen to me. But so I said, if you want to understand black people, then you should talk to them. And actually, this video, I think it got deleted. At any time, I'm ready to leave. Like even at my work, where they know I've been here for so long, they're like, so when are you moving back to Canada? For me, Canada is a foreign country, almost. It feels very weird there. So I really don't like always being asked, like, when are you going back to Canada? I feel like that the Chinese people cannot understand that China is where I live and China is my home, and I'm not about to like leave and go back to Canada. Really, I hope I don't have to anytime soon, and it quite bothers me. I think a lot of stuff in my presentation is maybe a little bit different from other foreigners' experience in China because I've been here for so long. I feel like that I am I feel like I'm an immigrant to China. Not really an immigrant because I'm not going to get the citizenship. But I have been here for 16 years. That is, I think, the same amount of time or more time than I lived in Canada. And I think if you look at a definition of what an immigrant is, if a Chinese person moved to America for 16 years, they will call him a Chinese immigrant, even if he does not have the American citizenship. Even if he's not American, he's like an immigrant to America. But China does not really have like an understanding of foreigners who've been here for a long time in the same way, like as an immigrant. And I think that the next generation, like my kids, the next generation of like mixed Chinese people and foreign people are gonna really make a big change with this perception.
I will say that this is because we Chinese set a line between China and the other world. In Chinese view, the world divided into two parts, China and the others.
Yeah.
And we set a cultural difference. It's a line, consciously or unconsciously, between Yang and the Wa, Jews is foreigner and the Chinese. So we are not mixed into globalization. So economic is popular or more globalization, but the culture is still very peculiar and independent.
Oh yeah, I think it was him. He said that foreign people in China, maybe they have a hard time to understand our China, and they have a hard time to understand our culture, and they have a hard time to use our chopsticks. And a lot of Chinese people, a lot of Chinese people ask me if I know how to use chopsticks. Even if I tell them that I have been in China for 16 years, maybe their next question will be, 你会不会用筷子? So that's why I say that Chinese people cannot, a lot of Chinese people cannot really understand like what is 16 years. When I say that I'm in China for 16 years, and then if you ask me if I can use chopsticks, like what do you think I've been doing in 16 years?
Probably they thought you are only 16 years old. Yeah. Yeah. That's not a good idea.
What I think that a lot of Chinese people they just think that foreigners cannot use chopsticks, and then they see me, and they think that all foreigners are the same level. And at least for I'm very old. Okay, maybe I'm not on a better level, but I'm on a much older level than some other foreigners. And so sometimes that makes me a little upset. And another thing is a lot of Chinese people they will say to me. Wow, your Chinese is so good. His Chinese is so good. It's better than my Chinese. They will say this to their friends like, 他的中文比我的还好啊. And I've heard this so many times, and it always made me feel like a little bit weird, like a little bit weird. And maybe now my Chinese is better, like it's okay. But even before I heard this so many times. And like I did not understand like why this makes me feel weird. And I thought about it for a long time. As Eric introduced me, I'm a married man, and I've been married for about 6 years. And when I'm talking to my wife, and she's trying to tell me something, she will be very indirect. Very indirect. She will say like, maybe you should do this, or she will not be very strong in making her point. And for a long time, I thought that meant that she did not really, she did not have strong feelings about what she was saying. But eventually I realized that even though she says, 我感觉你应该有可能是, that actually means that she feels very strong about this issue, and I really should listen to her better. Okay, and number 3, my brother-in-law, my wife's older brother. So I've often been back to Hunan province for Chinese New Year, and I would often just stay up late there, like playing on the computer. And my brother-in-law would come in, and he would say to me like, 你还不睡? Like you're not asleep yet. You're not sleeping yet. And like I would get so mad at him. I would be so mad. I'm like, 我还不睡? Well, you can't see me? I'm playing the computer. Like, of course I'm not sleeping. And for me, I felt like he was like telling me to go to bed, or like, what are you doing? Go to bed, and like, why are you saying something so obvious and so stupid? And that is a very big mistake, I feel like, and I still think about it now. In my, Eric?
Actually, this is just show politeness. Just say hello, kind of. So you don't just care too much about the real meaning.
Well, yeah. Now, Eric, I know it. It's like saying to Fan Lama, or like hello, or how are you?
It's a way of communication.
Yeah. Say hello.
Well,
no any special motives.
I know. That's why it's my biggest mistakes, because finally I realized that it's like Eric said, is he's just trying to be nice to me. He just is being friendly to me. And he doesn't want me to go to bed. He doesn't care that I'm playing computer games. He's just being my brother, and he's loving me. But it took me many years to understand that. Workplace. The workplace. Wait. Does anyone have anything they want to say about this slide, or any comments, Eric?
Okay, so you just mentioned Zhejiang University, because I was graduated from this university. It's supposed to be a quite prestigious university, but I would like to say you don't need to feel kind of frustrated because you speak too much. It's good. The problem is not you. The problem is the whole atmosphere in China's Chinese universities academia. What is just not so encouraging students to speak out. That's the problem of the university. The other students, not you, friend. Yeah, please, don't feel you're frustrated.
Yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to ask about this slide or? Yeah, I promise I will let you guys talk a little bit too. Wait, I think I already. Okay. This is slide 5. Okay. So, today I want to talk about cross-cultural communication. But really, I cannot speak for Chinese people. Like, I cannot. Sometimes I do it too much. You know, I do it too much. But I should listen to Chinese people and not say, oh, Chinese people think this, Chinese people think that. I can only talk about my experience and how I feel. And I've talked about it a lot. So I want to talk about kind of like how Chinese people view foreign people, in my opinion. And I'm starting with a stupid foreigner, Sha Lao Wai, because I feel like when I'm trying to talk to Chinese people, that when they think that, because so many Chinese people just think that foreigners are stupid, don't know anything, don't understand China, have an easy life. So sometimes it's hard for Chinese people to like hear what I'm saying, or to kind of like understand my point of view, even though I've been here for so long. And maybe more of a funny one is like all foreign people love to eat hamburgers, and I hear this so much is like foreigners love hamburgers, foreigners love coffee. But if you go outside, if you go right downstairs, there's a Starbucks, right? There's a Douyin, 瑞士, and there's a McDonald's, there's a KFC. Who is going to these restaurants? It's not foreign people, it's Chinese people. It's Cotter.
Yeah.
Well, I go there too, okay, but like I cannot keep all these businesses open by myself. KFC in China, McDonald's in China, Starbucks in China, Luckin, 瑞士 in China. Their business is coming from Chinese people who love coffee and they love hamburgers. And it's not only foreign people who love these things. So in this video, I just went to McDonald's and I just showed how many Chinese people were in this McDonald's. I'm a little tired of that stereotype, yeah. Wait. Okay. So